Hey everybody, so I am still here in Bethabara, um, and I am here at the Cooper, or this part is the calf barn. I'll let you guys read that. So pause the video and read it if you want to. This is where the person called Cooper worked. They would make different kinds of barrels for wells, for holding water, rainwater, carrying milk, things like that. This is some of the stuff that a Cooper would make right here, and it's pretty cool. He's actually making another barrel right there, and if you see the wagon over there, there's a wheel they made out of wood, and they actually put a metal plate on it. And let me excuse me. So what they did was, this is all wood, and then they would have the blacksmith take this part, heat it up to where it's really hot, and then make it slightly smaller, and when it gets hot, they will automatically put it on here, and there are no nails in there at all. It's just the two pieces, and it lasted, and it's just the metal bar is slightly smaller than the wheel. Some of the tools they have, you got the carpenter right there, and then you get some of the tools, the trade for everybody else, and you get the joiner and the wheelwright. I mean, it is just absolutely amazing on how they did these kind of things. Excuse me. So I'm heading over to this next house here, and so it is the log house is what it's called, and it's really nice inside, I think. So let me show you what the sign says, so that way if you want to pause it, you can read some of the information that's on there. It's called the log house. Holy cow, it's hot out here. But let me go in here. Show you. This is the log house here. You get table, and you get the fire, and this is what this box with stuff in here. This is what they would make clothes out of. They would make rope out of it, all that kind of stuff. And a nice fireplace here where they cook, I guess, do some cooking, and all that kind of stuff. And of course the wheel that they make the different clothes, turn into yarn. And then the bed. I mean, this is a one big room house, log house. So, and then I don't want to open the door, but that's just some of the stuff they would have here. And of course, indoor plumbing, futurist chamber pot. And I'm going to head on over to show you where the next place is.
So is this just to make do animals eat this at all, or it's just for? Okay.
This is flax.
Most of what animals will do with it is after it's been dried out, is they'll use it to make nests. But it's not really. It's just like a green plant. It doesn't have fruits. The only blossoms it really has is when it goes to seed. And it has seed blossoms. Other than that, this is its primary use. So you do what she just did. Yes, you do this. So this is your flax breaker, and it does exactly what the title suggests. We're just going to break these stalks, trying to get... What's that?
Gets the husk.
That's exactly right. Yeah, we want to get to the fiber.
Did they use the husk or anything? The hard dried fiber?
Not the hard part itself, but these extra fibers. So like these are coming off. This is going to come off during the process. This is toe. So if you've ever heard somebody say that somebody's toe-headed, like they usually mean like white blonde. This is toe. It's like white blonde like toe. So toe made excellent fire starter, so they would hang on to it for that purpose. And it was also good for making rope. So, you know, you think tow rope, tow truck, things like that you need a rope for. So they would use it for that. And this is your next step, and this is called your sketching board. We have a knife, and it's got these beveled edges. These beveled edges are on there too, because we don't want to actually hurt the fiber. We just want to get that extra stalk off. So I'm going to hit it.
Take that piece of pad and break it into the Now she's going to show you how to break it.
I get some more of this stuff.
And this is still, I mean, obviously a hand wave, but today this is what they still have to go through to make linen and all that rope.
It's the basic process. Of course, their machines are fancier than this now, but it's the same plant. It's the same same idea. You have to get the fiber out from inside the stalk.
Well, I mean, it didn't take that long to get all that.
Alright. So I'm gonna let you guys feel this. It feels a lot different than when we started. But it's still got lots of that stalk and plant matter in it that you don't want in your clothes.
Cross over the two pieces.
Yes, it would be.
So is that at a level you would use it for anything?
You would do it one more process here. Do you guys mind scooching to the side so I can show them how?
Always in the way.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Did you see how they made the fire?
So these are the hackles. You think raising your hackles, something like this, these are hackles. I'm just going to start combing it through right here on this wider side, and I'm going to lose a lot of fiber. This is primarily what we think of using as fire starter and to make rope and other things. They would keep, yes, that's your toe. We want to keep as much of that as we can because let's not waste anything. And these nails aren't very sharp because we want to be able to use them for demonstrations, but they would have been a lot sharper back in the day. Because it combs out a little better.
It's like hair.
A lot of people think it looks like a horsetail. I would agree. So you see what I'm holding versus what I started with over there. It was a pretty big handful. You don't get a lot of fabric out of a field.
Really?
Family might have a field and they might only get, by the time, because after you do this, of course you have to spin it into fabric, or you have to spin it into yarn or thread, and then after that you weave that into cloth like what I'm wearing. So after you go through those processes, you may only have 5 to 10 yards of fabric for the entire field that you've processed. So you guys want to feel this one more time?
Do people still turn this into fabric at this slow hand process?
Yes. Yeah, I mean there's handmade thread. It's, as you can tell, it takes a little while. So it's more common to buy just like machine process. But yeah, we actually have the materials to do it here, so we could. It would just take us a minute because, like I said, it's. But that's part of the reason that they valued their clothes so much. They wove them tighter than our machines weave clothing today. They didn't want them to unravel. They wanted them to last. You would patch up your clothing. You would use it for scrap before you threw it away. Part of that is because it was so hard to make. There was no going to Walmart and buying a shirt. It took you a long time to make your clothing, so you were going to take care of it. After they had it to this, they would twist it up, which is what I'm going to do right here. This was basically just for storage and to keep the fibers straight. Part of what makes linen special is how long these fibers are. So even if you guys have never messed with like raw cotton, everybody's unraveled a cotton ball once in your life. Those fibers are really short. The same is true for wool. The fibers just aren't very long. These are long. So we want to keep them straight. We don't want them to get tangled up because that's going to make it really hard to spin later on. But if I twist it up like this, then we can hang it up, like up in the top of a barn. We want to keep it out of reach of animals because, like I said, animals would love to make a nest out of this. And of course, it's also flammable. We don't want to get it wet. Basically, this is just protective. We just want to keep it safe until we're ready to spin it.
How long can it, I mean, it's now kind of, because that's obviously a lot still tougher than fabric. How long, I mean, does it need to dry for a period of time, or it becomes too brittle, or?
After a while it would become brittle, but I mean sometimes today they'll even still find like these hanging in the tops of barns where it's not going to disintegrate, but it will at a certain point not be ideal. But after it's gone through all these processes, it's ready to go and it'll be more or less stable.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. It showed you some of the demonstrations they had around here. That's just some of the stuff that they're doing today. You can do a tour of the church here. It's not just a church, it's the living quarters. This part of the building that's closest to us, this back half, was the living quarters of the minister that lived there, and on the other side it was a school for the boys. The girls were in a different building for school. The front half was for meetings, or that side over there was for meetings and where they held the actual church itself. This is actually a one-lane road, so that's why you'll see cars right there, and it stops right over there. So you had to stop. It's kind of like a four-way stop. You had to let one car by at a time because it's like maybe a block worth, where it narrows only one big enough for one car at a time. And you're supposed to stop, but apparently not. I guess they don't follow the rules of the rules. But yeah, it's a really nice, cute little community area here. This is where they started, and then Salem ended up building up a few years after this part did, and then literally on the other side of the street, pretty much, was Winston. So this area was, and then after a while, they were like, well, why is this side over here Winston? Why is this over here Salem? And so they got together and said, why don't we just call it Winston-Salem? So at first, it was literally two different towns that was like about a mile from each other. And so now that town's grown more, it's known as Winston-Salem instead of just Winston or just a Salem. I'm going to try my best to go do a video on the inside of that church. Depends on if they're doing a tour at the moment. I'm not going to be here much longer because it looks like it's going to rain soon. There are some clouds moving in. So I will try to get that in the video, and so I'm going to head on over there and I'll see you back in a few moments. Okay guys, I need the sign. That's what it says. So like I said, you can always pause and read everything I've done, and I'm about to go inside and check to see if there's doing a tour or anything. Just give me a second. So I'm inside and about to play the organ music. It's up there. Okay, so I'm inside, and this is what the actual pew looks like. It's like the original one. So yeah, it's over 250 years old for just this one bench. But they do have newer benches they use for people to sit on while they're doing the tours. The organ is up there. But, and then the minister, it was minister, correct? The minister, the pastor, he would actually sit here instead of standing up like a lot of pastors and ministers do nowadays. He felt like he was on the same level. He didn't think he was higher up than anybody else, so he felt like he should be able to sit down with everybody else because of one major family, all brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters of Jesus, is what they said. So, yeah, it's a really nice church. There's a tour in front of me. I'm gonna be going back there as kind of following, so that way they could get in front of me, and I'll show you where the minister and his family would stay, and also where the schoolroom was for the boys. The girls' schoolroom was in a completely different building, and they would be there until age 14. I'll let you know more once I get back to that room, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm in the next area. They actually came in, this was the men's door. If you were a male, you would come in through this door. If you were female, you would come in through this door. That's how it worked. And then if you were a stranger, you would actually come in through that door right there. If you were a stranger, not part of the community, you were here on business. This cabinet was actually part of back then, this is one of the original cabinets they had here. So it's really nice. This is the staircase that goes up to the organ, and there's a string right there that rings the bell. I can't go up there, but that is the staircase. This is the original lantern from back then, back in those days. That's the original lantern that they would go from place to place and light it. And then in here was the boys' school, and I guess this is where the teacher would sit, right here. This also was kind of the meeting where if you the time where you had coffee, had bread, and just gathered together. They would drink out of these mugs here, and they would have rolls similar to that, and that's what they would eat, and they would cook everything over here for heat up the coffee at least. And then of course the boys' chalkboards were right there. You got 3 different sizes. And this right here is a tile fireplace. It's in, I think, 2 or 3 rooms where they would put stuff inside here, the firewood. They can control the air and everything. They would heat up tiles and it be air circulation through here. All 3 fireplaces go to the same chimney. And then when they just wanted to put out the fire for the night, there's still heat coming through the tiles. So that's pretty cool. In here is the kitchen section for, this is the part of the living quarters for the minister and his family, or pastor, whatever you want, whatever they were called back then. This is just some of the foods they would cook. And that's, the fire's back there to cook the breads. If you want a toast, you can do it on this thing. You put it close to the fire. That's right here to do the pots. And once one side's done, you just turn it, and then you can toast the other side. So this is a decent style, multi-purpose stove/oven for kind of like your regular stove and oven at home, but this is one for wood, so not bad there. This is none of this pottery here was. This is just like reproduction stuff that they would have used from back then. And actually, from what I remember, the clay that's on here, not clay, but the paint, is stuff that they made from way back when. It's to get the reddish color. It's actually clay from the ground. That's how they got the reddish color, and they made it to paint it. And so this is another piece that's original. And then you go into the one bedroom, which has another tile fireplace in here. And then that would be the bed for the parents to sleep on. And then you get the kids' bed, and you put as many beds as you want for the kids to sleep on. And then from what I was told, this is it's a rope, and this is with straw in it. This top layer would be feathers, and then of course your blanket. And then you also have your indoor bathroom. And then from what they said, this tool here is to tighten up the rope for when it gets loose. So I guess I had to do that a lot. And then, of course, your washroom to wash your hands, wash your face. And then that's the one room, they only had one bed for everybody to sleep in. And then this is like the living room. And then they had this beautiful cabinet here. And then just a couple of the board work that they did here. Just some of the stuff that they would do. And then this is actually called a weasel. And every 40 turns, it would pop. So that's how they became Pop Goes the Weasel. So that was interesting. I thought that was pretty cool. This fireplace also leads to the same chimney that showed you with the 2 tiled ones. And then, of course, the spinning wheel. And Sleeping Beauty should stay away from it because I don't want Sleeping Beauty to, poke her finger. And then they have this beautiful clock here. This is not they didn't have a clock ahead of time. They didn't have any of that. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And so then it goes right back up the hallway. This hallway here was the only hallway that they had to divide up the living quarters for the minister from the church part. So this is the last remaining building in the United States that has one building that had both functionings of a meeting hall / church along with the minister's living quarters. This is one building. It wasn't an add-on. It was just literally a one room or one building with different rooms attached to it, just like your regular house would be. So that was pretty cool. So there's that, and I am about to head out. It looks like it's going to rain here soon. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys come and see it. I will post a link down below for anybody interested. They do tours, I want to say, from time to time. They do hold special events throughout the year. So this is just one event that they did for just today, which is hands-on history, which is pretty nice. So I hope you guys enjoy. I went ahead and head on outside, and so I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys are able to make it out and see this area. I mean, look at this. That house right there was shortly after a while, the minister ended up living there, in that house there. This church here was used from 1788 until 1963. And in 1963, they put up a church. They put up a church further on down the road. But on Christmas time, they do come back here to this church and do special events for Christmas time, from what I understand. But so there's a lot of different buildings here, a lot of history here. I highly recommend coming and just checking it out, and seeing some of the stuff, seeing how this town was built up, and they are well detailed on how things happened, and what they did way back when on different things. So come on out, check it out, and I hope to see you guys all next time. I can't wait to show you my next adventures. Adventures await. Bye.